Right.
Are we ready? All right, good evening all. I'd like to welcome you to the Village Council meeting of Monday, December 11, 2017. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Milovich Walters.
Present.
Commissioner Cole.
Yep.
Commissioner Pavlonis.
Yes.
Commissioner Reed. Mayor Mahoney.
Here. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have in your packet a draft of the minutes from our previous meeting on November 27th. Any questions, comments, suggested changes?
Move approval.
Second.
Hearing a motion and a second, would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Milovich Walters.
Yes.
Commissioner Cole.
Yep.
Commissioner Pavlonis.
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney.
Yes. Consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine or have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Commissioners and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Item 1, pass a resolution authorizing the village clerk to make certain closed session minutes available for public inspection. Second review 2017. The resolution states that the village has reviewed closed session minutes and determined that a need for confidentiality still exists as to executive session minutes set forth on Exhibit C. Item 2, to adopt an ordinance approving a commercial plan development in the B2 General Retail and Wholesale Business District, granting commercial development, construction, and landscaping criteria approval, and granting certain landscaping variations in relation thereto for 9520 West 131st Street. The ordinance states that the zoning classification of said property be revised to commercial plan development in the B2 General Retail and Wholesale Business District, and granted commercial development, construction, and landscaping criteria approval, and granted certain landscaping variations. Item 3, to approve payment of invoices on the warrant list dated December 11, 2017, in the amount of $102,836.30. And item 4, to approve the supplemental warrant list dated December 11, 2017 for manual checks, payroll, and recurring wire transfers in the amount of $375,625.15. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda at this time.
So moved.
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Milovich Walters.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Old business. Any items of old business to be brought before the council?
Nope.
Information and updates, Public Works and Streets, Recreation Report, Commissioner Milovich Walters.
Thank you, Mayor Mahoney. I have one item on the agenda. It is regarding a folder, inserter, and sealer machine for our utility department. In August of 2013, the Utility Division of the Public Works Department purchased a Formax page folder and envelope inserter and sealer machine. The machine was recommended by the company that supplies the utility forms and envelopes, which is Harris Computer. Harris Computer is a division of MSI, the software company for utility billing services. The utility billing coordinator uses the machine to process the 1,000 utility bills plus the approximately 150 second and third late notices every month. The machine has reached the end of the expected lifespan. There are continuing issues whereby a service person has to be called every month to repair the machine. Fortunately, this has not caused any delays in mailing the utility bills or the late notices to date. During the last utility billing cycle, the service person suggested that the village consider purchasing a new machine. The utility division would like to purchase the same model machine. It fits the needs of the utility billing. The next size machine will almost double the cost and will not provide any added benefits, so we're going to stick with the same kind we already have. And the cost of the new Formax inserter and sealer machine is outlined below. Let's see. Okay, the Formax FD 6102 is $4,995. The freight to deliver it from dock to dock is $270, Inside delivery would have been more expensive, but our Public Works Department will take it off the truck and move it inside and save us $400. And then the service agreement is $695 for a total amount of $5,960. There are monies in the water fund available for this purchase. And the old machine will be transferred to the Recreation Department to use until it's no longer operable. And their usage will be much less than what the Utility Department uses it, so hopefully less wear and tear. It may last a little longer. And just for a bit of information, if we didn't use a machine, it would take somebody a couple days to insert, fold, and seal all these utility bills to get them out. It's not a good use of staff time. And so, yeah. So, does anybody have any questions before I make a motion? All right, well, I'd like to approve the purchase of the Formax FD 6102 from Harris Computer Equipment in the amount of $5,960.
Second.
Sorry, sir. Any other questions? The one question I have is whether other villages have gone to any kind of electronic billing system.
We
Which-
did talk about it a while back, but I think at that time, we didn't feel we had enough people signed up with the village email, but Rick might be able to
It
answer.
took 20 years to get from the postcard to the full-page envelope. Give us some time.
All right.
We are
But
looking,
right now, we don't-
looking into an ability to pay online through a credit card. Right now, people that do have to call in, so
Right.
we're moving into other, avenues to help our customers manage their accounts.
But at this time, I would imagine that there would be still many residents that wouldn't have any other capacity to receive their bills.
Right.
Okay, so,
I think we'll be looking at the idea of offering paperless billing to those that want it in the future, but not requiring everyone to do it that way, so. And then I just have some announcements. Oh, we have to vote. Never
Yes.
mind.
now that we have a motion and a second and no further questions, would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Milovich Walters?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yes.
Commissioner Pavlonis? Yes. Mayor Mahoney?
Yes.
And then I just have some announcements from the rec department. I'd just like to chat for a moment about our village tree lighting and holiday market that took place on December 1st. Of course, our mayor and Santa officially lighted the village tree with over 2,000 lights. It grew a lot bigger since last year, so it needed a lot more lights. We had over 600 people attend the event. The members of the Palos West Cardinal Choir, about 40 children, entertained the crowd by leading them in holiday carols. Santa's Secret Shop, which was sponsored by District 118, helped many children find wonderful surprise gifts for special people in their lives. And we also had our community tree decorating contest where the Women's Club took first place with a gorgeous tree. Citizens on Patrol took second. Theirs was very handsome. And the Garden Club taking third, and theirs was gorgeous as well. I think they're shown better during the daytime than at night to really see the detail, but they all did a beautiful job. And Girl Scout Troop 60349, that would be my troop, won the People's Choice Award. Wondering why? There were a ton of 8th grade kids there voting, so they voted for their friends. It wasn't just the Girl Scouts this time. They had a lot of friends there, but it was a great event. We had a lot of vendors that had a lot of unique and different items to sell to the public, and I think it went really, really well.
The Palos West class really did a really nice job
They
with
did.
with the caroling.
And they seemed to be having so much fun, and the faces that they had, plus those other kids there when Santa came down and you were shaking hands with Santa, and like they're all like looking up at you too.
By the way, the mayor and I had our picture taken with Santa.
Yes.
You're
Santa
going to
had
see
some of the biggest mitts I'd ever seen.
This is true. He was a tall fellow,
I didn't know he was that big.
very tall and broad.
Smaller in
Yes.
the pictures.
He's a lot more athletic in person.
Yeah, sure is. I was surprised.
Seems younger.
I don't know how he gets down the chimney.
Well, now you know, he's very athletic.
So, yeah, so it was a great event. We do have an event coming up let's see, no, it already took place, sorry. This was this past weekend. I'm like losing track of time. This past Saturday, we had Breakfast with Santa at the Metro Station. We had 50 people there.
Oh, great.
We served breakfast of eggs, hash browns, French toast, bacon and sausage, and fresh juice, coffee, tea, and fruit. Santa and Mrs. Claus arrived by train, and after the children greeted them, they were able to have their picture taken with them for a lasting memory. One of our rec supervisors, Evan Vogt, read the Polar Express, which all the children enjoyed, and our Kids Zone staff provided multiple themed holiday crafts for all the children. So it was another successful event and a lot of fun doing it at the train station and reading Polar Express and the whole thing. So it kind of goes really well together.
That's
So I
awesome.
was happy to hear that one went well because unfortunately I could not be there this year. But that concludes my report.
Thank you. Building and Public Property Report, in Commissioner Reed's absence, the Building Department would like to wish everyone happy holidays and a happy new year. Permits, the Building Department processed 20 permits in the latest period, resulting in $19,112.30 of permit fees. 28 inspections were completed during this period. Public Health and Safety, Commissioner Polk.
Thank you, Mayor. The monthly police activity from the 27th of November through the 10th of December. 1,208 calls for service, 34 adjudication tickets, and an additional 17 traffic tickets. 57 written warnings, 23 verbal warnings, 13 case reports, arrested 6 adults, unfortunately no juveniles. Impounded 2 vehicles, 15 senior checks, an additional 32 citizen assists, and 3 community contact hours. So that's what your Palos Park Police Department's been up to. A couple of quick comments. The first is we're still working with the cadets to collect food for the Palos Township Food Pantry. We've been doing this since November the 1st. This is our 16th annual holiday food drive, and we'll accept donations of unexpired food, please, at the police department, here at the Captor Center during normal business hours. If you'd like help, either with bringing in a donation or facilitating a donation, feel free to give us a holler, 671-3770, and we'll have somebody come out and pick up the food. But it's a little slow this year, so I'd like to see a little bit more participation if it's possible from the citizens here in Palos Park. And again, the food is going to the Township Food Pantry, which assists families from towns within the township. Heights, the Hills, Palos Park, Hickory Hills, Worth, Willow Springs, and some parts of Orland Park. And then a couple of other observations, I guess. We received a report from the Identity Theft Resource Center. This is a national center that looks at data breaches that have been recorded through the year. And through November, there have been more than 1,200 data breaches recorded in the United States. These are not personal data breaches. These are data breaches that affect at least 1,000 customers. And it has involved 172 million records which have been exposed since the beginning of the year. That's about 18% higher than we were running last year. So what's the point? The point is that we still have to be vigilant about our data that's circulating out there. So if you use online applications, make sure that you have the latest versions of them. Please make sure that your browser is secure. And perhaps one of the more important things that we don't think about in terms of data breaches, but back your data up. Another common issue is your wireless network. So your wireless network should be password protected. It's easy to find out. If you have any questions about whether your wireless network is password protected or not, email me. I'll be happy to share it with you. But you don't want people driving by your driveway tapping into your wireless network, which is used for a variety of applications. If you get Netflix, you got a wireless network somewhere. So pay attention to those kinds of things. And then we're announcing again our Palos Park Police Safe Ride Program for New Year's Eve. Our officers and cadets will be on duty that night, and if you have been at a party or you've had a little bit more than allows you to get into a car safely, we'd be happy to come and pick you up and take you home. While we love Hackney's, we're not taking you to a party at Hackney's. So this is a ride service that we offer every New Year's Eve. You can call us directly at 708-448-2191, or you can call the chief directly at 708-259-1035, and we'll come out, no questions asked, no speeches given, and give you a ride back home. The boundaries are confined to the village of Palos Park, although you don't have to be a Palos Park resident in order to be able to use the service. And we've been known to bend those rules a little bit in order to be able to get somebody home. So please feel free to use the service, and we think it's a pretty cost-effective way to keep people who are impaired off the roads, particularly on New Year's Eve. Chief Miller, you have anything you want to add to any of that?
No, Commissioner.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you kindly. Accounts and Finances, Commissioner Pavlatis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the agenda for tonight is the 2017 tax levy ordinance, which we will vote upon shortly. This ordinance is the village's legal request to receive property taxes levied on parcels within the corporate boundaries of the village of Palos Park. The current tax levy specifies the type and amount of property taxes the village intends to receive in property tax revenues from the county's collection of tax payments next year. The village portion of the tax levy amounts to $1,389,502. The library portion of the tax levy amounts to $453,803. The total amount of the tax levy request is $1,843,305. This ordinance must be filed with the office of the county clerk on or before the last Tuesday in December each year. It is my recommendation to adapt the 2017 tax levy ordinance, and I make a motion to adapt the 2017 tax levy ordinance.
Any questions regarding the tax levy ordinance and the legal requirement? If not, I would, we have a motion and a second. Would the clerk please call the roll?
I did.
Commissioner Pavlovic?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yes.
Commissioner Walden?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. So, I have in my report an update on the western annexations that I prepared. We are approaching the end of another very solid year for our village, and I want to take some time tonight to briefly bring you up to date on the annexations we completed over the last few years and a few remaining issues related to those annexations. First, a little background. You may recall that for a number of years, our village officials and staff worked diligently with several highly respected area families who sought to annex their lands into our village. These include the Cog Hill Golf and Country Club, owned by the Jemsek family, the Glen Eagles and Mid-Iron Golf Clubs, owned by the McNulty families, and the Ludwig's family Ludwig Farm. Together, these properties total some 1,446 acres. At the same time, we were in talks with the Forest Preserve District of Cook County, which wanted to connect the village's water and sewer systems to its sheriff's station along McCarthy Road. This led to an agreement between the district and our village and our annexation in late 2015 of 190 acres of district land. This annexation extended our western boundary to Bell Road, providing us with contiguity with the Mid-Iron property. We then moved to approve the property owners' annexation petitions. In January 2016, we annexed the Glen Eagles and the Mid-Iron clubs, and a month later, the Cog Hill and Ludwig Farm properties. I'm very pleased to tell you that these annexing ordinances were recorded with the Cook County Recorder of Deeds shortly after the council took action. The Cook County Sheriff's Station now has access to our water utilities, and the addition of the family's properties has been a natural complement to our village, enhancing our continuing desire for high-quality housing, recreational opportunities, and a green environment. Still, as I'm sure you know, the Village of Lamont opposes our annexations and has worked hard to thwart them through litigation. We continue to challenge a separate petition filed at Lamont's behest in 2015 by a small group of homeowners in the Sun Hill subdivision south of McCarthy Road and west of Bell Road. Lamont's goal with this petition is clear: to force annex or forcibly take approximately half of McNulty's Glen Eagles property, which would effectively undo the annexations of Glen Eagles and Cog Hill. Last March, we successfully argued in Cook County Circuit Court against a Lamont claim that we had waited too long to act on Glen Eagles' annexation petition. In fact, our officials and staff had been working on the annexation for years. The court recognized this in its decision. The court refused Lamont's request to stay its ruling in August. This matter is working its way through the Illinois Appellate Court. Our attorneys feel very confident in our legal position, and we are optimistic this matter will be resolved in our favor early in the new year. Additionally, and interestingly, the Cook County State's Attorney last July filed a separate lawsuit against Lamont, challenging the legality of Lamont's annexations over the years of 17 properties on or near Bell Road. The complaint alleges that the properties are not today, nor were they at the time of their annexations, contiguous to Lamont's village boundaries. As you may know, contiguity is a requirement for those annexations. Palos Park is not a party to this lawsuit, but we are watching it closely for developments. The state's attorney is asking the court for a summary judgment to invalidate those annexations. So, where are we today? Glen Eagles, the Mid-Iron Club, Cog Hill, and the Ludwig Farm are now part of Palos Park and important additions to our village. We are benefiting financially as annexations generate sales tax as well as business and liquor license revenues. We will begin receiving property tax revenues in the coming year. In considering these annexations, we recognize they offered a unique opportunity to expand our village while retaining our reputation for high-quality development, recreation, and environmental protection, and managing development in a controlled manner that protects our special character. It's important to recognize the patience of the Jemset, McNulty, and Ludwig families as we have gone through the annexation processes and faced Lamont's opposition. We know these families have plans to develop their properties in the future, and we will work with them on future proposals they bring forth. It is important to note that we have not been presented with any specific site plans yet, but are confident the families share our vision for Palos Park. Development of this magnitude will not occur overnight. Of course, when they come, any development proposals will be subject to rigorous reviews, public hearings, and public debate by the Palos Park Plan Commission and the Village Council. Proposals will be approved only after we are assured they are financially support our local taxing bodies and meet our high development standards. Thank you very much, and that concludes my report. Clerk Aragoni. Thank you.
Some announcements.
I usually make those at the end.
Yeah. Not yet.
Manager Boehm, you've got a couple of items tonight.
Got a few things for the council to consider. The first is the regional water true-up cost for 2016 for the Village of Palos Park. As you know, the Village of Palos Park is part of a regional water system that derives its potable water from the Village of Oaklawn head end. Per our regional water agreement, these true-up costs are owed or credited based on actual costs of operating the system. Those costs include electricity, pump station maintenance, transmission main maintenance, and wholesale operating costs. This year, or for the year of 2016, Village of Palos Park has been assessed a cost of $47,440 as our share. This is up greatly from the past couple years, where we had $9,000, about $9,200 in 2015 true-up costs, and in 2014 they were about $5,400. Part of the reason these costs are up and why we're spending so much is these costs, mainly for the transmission main maintenance and pump station maintenance, are fixed costs. Those two categories represent 99% of that $47,000. That's where we get it. It's not based on usage, which our usage compared to other communities is pretty low. Everybody pays the same rate. And so we kind of get dinged because we don't use a lot of water. We're not one of the bigger users. So in this case, the Village of Palos Park is going to pay more. So that's kind of the reason we're bringing this forward. This is the amount owed. The Village of Oak Lawn has already paid all the payments. This is now the time for them to go back and recoup or pay back, depending on the community. So that's the cost to the village this year per our agreement. So I'd like to make a recommendation for the council to approve these true-up costs.
So I move approval of the 2016 water system true-up cost of $47,440 with remission of the same to the Village of Oak Lawn.
Second.
Any questions? Got a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Polk?
Yes.
Commissioner Cavanaugh?
Yes.
Commissioner Rhodes-Wilson?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Similarly, we do have the regional water system IEPA bond payments. These are our share of the bond payments, and these are based on the size of our system, so we're paying less than some of these other communities are. The Harker station, which is one of the main pump stations, the cost for that bond is $17,321.06, and then the booster station bond payment would be $1,710.11. So I'd recommend approval of those amounts.
So I move approval of the reimbursement of the IEPA bond payments to the Village of Oak Lawn in the aggregate amount of $19,031.17.
Second.
Hearing a motion and a second, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Polk?
Yes.
Commissioner Cavanaugh?
Yes.
Commissioner Rhodes-Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney?
Yes.
The next item I have for council consideration is adding elected officials as eligible members under the village health care plans at a 100% contribution rate. The village does offer health care plans for its village employees, currently under United Healthcare. These plans include a PPO, HMO, and HSA type plans. So full-time village employees are eligible to participate. The village does participate generously in those plans for our employees. The village elected officials is a group that, according to the village's broker, may be added as eligible members under our health care plans. While some municipalities do offer this, there are a number of them that do offer plans that range from the village supporting those plans to others charging 100% premium cost to the elected officials. So I'm recommending that the Village of Palos Park offer its health care plans to elected officials of the village, namely the mayor, clerk, and 4 commissioners. Should the elected officials choose to participate in the village health care plans, they are eligible provided they pay 100% of the premium costs associated with the plans they select.
So I move approval of the Village of Palos Park elected officials as eligible participants in the village's medical, dental, and vision plans, provided that those elected officials who participate pay 100% of the premium for the plan selected.
Second.
Any questions? If not, I would ask having a second, motion and a second, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Polk?
Yes.
Commissioner Rhodes-Wilson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cavanaugh?
Yes.
And lastly, I have before the council an ordinance to approve adopting a policy prohibiting sexual harassment for the Village of Palos Park. A little background, the General Assembly recently enacted Public Act 100-0554, which is 5 ILCS 430/70-5, for governmental entities, including municipalities. We have 60 days from the enactment date of the law to adopt a policy, which would come due in January 15th of 2018. The village does have a sexual harassment policy in our personnel manual and other documents, so we are not without one. This would just adopt and replace said policies in the village documents. So this policy was adopted from models developed by the Illinois Municipal League. Our attorney has reviewed the documents and recommended minor modifications. So we're going to recommend approval of ordinance number 2017-34. It's an ordinance adopting a policy prohibiting sexual harassment for the Village of Palos Park, and that would replace section 1.045 of the Personnel Manual.
So I move approval of ordinance 2017-34, which adopts a policy prohibiting sexual harassment for the Village of Palos Park.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Seconded by Commissioner Pavlatis. Any questions? Again, we do have and have had for some time, a policy, but this is really related to a new law passed by the General Assembly, and we're attempting to be in compliance with the provisions set forth therein. So I have a motion and a second. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Polk.
Yes.
Commissioner Spatalavas. Yes. Commissioner Milovich Walters.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Announcements. ZBA will not meet on Wednesday, December 13th. Historic Preservation will not meet on December 19th, as there are no agenda items. Recreation Advisory Commission will not meet on December 19th. Library Board will meet on Wednesday, December 20th at 7 p.m. in the library. Plan Commission will not meet on December 21st, as there are no agenda items. Village Council meeting scheduled for Monday, December 25th is canceled. Next meeting is Monday, January 8th, 2018. Village offices will be closed Monday, December 25th, and Tuesday, December 26th, and Monday, January 1st, 2018, in observance of the holidays. Citizens and visitors comment period. Anyone from the audience like to address the council at this time? Hearing no such requests, I would seek a motion to adjourn at this time.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Good evening and happy holidays, everyone, and a happy new year.
Stay safe out there.